your team came together down the stretch to make those chances count and just sort of make the stops?
I mean, playing a team like Stanford, they do bring out the best in you, the best and the worst at times. And I just thought that we didn't play our best, and probably Stanford had a lot to do with it. But in the second half, we just decided to go with a different lineup. I thought the different lineup gave us people on the floor that can score, that had a little bit of experience being out there on the floor, and moving Zaya to the point guard position. It just ignited us, and we just really simplified our offenses so they could see where the ball needs to go and who needs to shoot it. And then I thought rebounding down the stretch was key, like key. We gave up a few offensive rebound putbacks, but that rebound that LA got off of the free throw was huge. And I was happy to see her just come back from giving up one down the other end.
Here on the front.
All right, Dawn, I wanted to tell you this in Minneapolis, that I might be a good luck charm because both of your championships, I happen to cover each one of those. But that's another story.
Okay.
So when you guys caused 22 turnovers by them, double what you guys had, and you had your star player in foul trouble, what type of motivation were you giving these guys to say that, this is the number 2 team and they're playing at home, and we might see them again in the Final Four? So how'd you get them to persevere?
I mean, it's the next person up. I mean, the next woman up mentality. We got a core group of players that have played in this environment. Like our, playing in our home, in our home arena. I mean, it's a lot of people. So we're used to playing in the crowd. So I don't think that had an impact on us. What impacted us was Stanford and their ability to close driving lanes versus Aaliyah. I thought we just, again, simplified our offenses, and the ball went where it's supposed to go and who should shoot it, and we found a way to just gut out. We gutted out a win. Wasn't an easy thing at all.
Michelle, and then Michael.
John, they came out second half and started hitting threes. Did you make a defensive adjustment at that point?
Yeah, I mean, I thought the 5 that we played the majority of the second half was the adjustment. We need a little bit more speed, a little bit of people who are very defensive minded, just guarding the wing. Like, we could apply pressure on the ball, but that pressure wasn't even affecting us. So hopefully I'm not saying her name wrong. Lapola was having her way with us. She was, dribbling through and creating an advantage on offense for them. So she got ahead of the offense, and we were playing from behind. And you give up some threes when it's like that. So we just switched, put in Bree Hall. She did a great job at not pressuring too much, but being there and keeping her in front of us. And when they're in front of us, we're allowed to defend a lot better than playing from behind.
And then I just want to ask you about Cameron Bragg's game.
Oh, awesome. Cameron played awesome. I think she is developing into something pretty special. I mean, the fact that the threes. I mean, it just elevates her game. Her ability to put the ball on the floor and get to the basket and stretch. And I think the biggest thing, not just making shots, I think her ability to force you to foul her, because that compounds the mistake. And she got Aaliyah on the bench early on in the first half, and that's what we wanted to do. That's the kind of aggression that we wanted to play with offensively, to have them play some other people that they didn't want to play a lot of minutes.
Here on the left side.
Ben Barr, CardinalSports.com. Dawn, I just want to get your thoughts on how you feel your team is different from just how is the match different this year from last year, both from your team and their team. Just talk about a little bit how it's different this year versus last year.
I mean, the biggest difference for us is we don't have Henny, our point guard, that's gone on to the WNBA. I mean, when you lose a senior point guard that's been in your system for 4 years, there's some comfort in that. There's some comfort with the other players as well. And then when you bring on, 2 other point guards, one is a grad transfer that really hasn't practiced with us a whole lot. And then it's a freshman, Raven Johnson. It's a little bit different. I do think we have the potential to be better, but we also are not playing as well as we were playing when Henny was in. And it's nothing to do with, their ability. It's just everything to do with being able to gain some chemistry, playing with each other and practicing with each other. And I think probably, Stanford lost a lot of experience. The Hall sisters, you lose them, you lose, on both sides of the basketball, but, Tara's made adjustment to play according to her personnel, and I think they're doing great with it.
Michael, go ahead.
Yeah, Coach, you talked to Michelle about sort of the defensive adjustments, and I know you said last year you thought that was maybe as good a defensive team as you had. The 8 or so minutes that Stanford didn't score in the fourth quarter, can you, I guess, expound on that, how big that was in this game to turn it in?
Yeah, I think after, I don't know if we called a timeout. Well, I think one time I just saw a team was really exhausted. I think it was 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter. We just looked really exhausted, and it was the blow that they needed to continue on, to play at that pace and to win the loose ball battles and the 50-50 balls and to defend a little bit better. I just thought they were clicking on all cylinders from a defensive standpoint, and then from an offensive standpoint, we just simplified. You do this, you see that, whichever one is more open, you give it to them and just take what they give us. Because I thought we were forcing the issue a little bit, and I think big games like this, you want to play so well that sometimes it works against you.
Here in the red.
Hi, Coach.
How you doing?
So both you and Coach Andrea are wearing the shirts in honor of Brittany Boyd. You're also wearing the hat as well. So could you talk about the significance of her and her incarceration and her story within the South Carolina program?
Yeah. I just want to say that Stanford they're doing a great job. Tara, is leading this campaign on this particular campus, and we both know Brittany. She's a part of our basketball family, and she's in a fight for her life. And if I know there are other Americans that are wrongly detained, and obviously we want them all to come home. But when you have a relationship and a friendship with someone, it's personal, and so it's a personal fight for us to bring her home, and every little bit counts. Every little bit, every letter. I went up and wrote a letter. They have a table out there. I went up and Coach Boyd and I went up and wrote a letter. Every little bit counts, and if it was anyone's loved ones, you would fight for them. You would fight for them. I do think there's a way maker up there that's gonna make a way for her to get home a lot sooner than hopefully a lot sooner than a lot of people are expecting. But I'm one that's gonna think optimistically and prayerfully that she gets home soon.
Go ahead. We'll go to the back.
Dawn, it was almost 12 years ago when your team lost, I think, 70-32 here, and you went and you got Tara and you brought her to your locker room.
About 17-32, what's that?
70.
70-32? God.
You brought Tara into your locker room and had her give a pep talk to your women, and just, do you ever reflect on that and how far, you're back here today and how far your program's come, and maybe that helped you as a coach?
Oh, absolutely. Like, you just don't bring your team out here to play Stanford without it being a lesson involved, good or bad. Yes, the defeats are the ones that define the rise of our program. Because Tara beat us, Gino, Pat, they all have pretty much have done what they were supposed to do, being a traditionally rich program. That's what they were supposed to do, and that's why we were playing them, is to measure ourselves. If I came to South Carolina because I wanted to win a national championship, and I thought coming to South Carolina would allow us to recruit a little bit differently, to play in a conference in which you had legendary coaches. You're going to learn. So if you have an insatiable desire to learn, like I do as a student of the game, it's going to take getting your head knocked off a few times, and then you adjust. You find it makes you recruit a little bit harder. It makes you study a little bit longer, and it makes you want to play them, more and more. Because the more you play them, the more you get used to it, and then you can figure out what you need to compete.
All right, we're going to try to get 3 more in. Go ahead, in the back.
Hello, Coach. This is the Beast for W. You talked about switching it up a little bit, and so Olivia Thompson came in. Immediately off the bench, she knocks down a big 3. And Breezy Hall knocks down huge shots for you. Can you talk about the importance of the impact of that energy from off the bench?
Yeah, man, looking at the bench points, 34-9, and proud of that number, because oftentimes the people that are coming off the bench don't stay for very long unless they're playing extremely well. I thought Breezy Hall did a great job on both sides of the basketball, stayed locked in and focused. And then for Olivia Thompson, I just felt like their defense was so good, meaning they just collapsed and they were playing, a player and a half on Aaliyah at all times. And the moment she came in and hit one, it opened up just a little bit to give us some room to operate inside. And by then, I don't think they went back to playing that style of play a whole lot, unless we put ourselves in that situation. But proud of Breezy, proud of O, proud of LA. They're the ones that don't really get a whole lot of the spotlight, but they surely delivered in this moment.
Here in the front, and we're closing them next.
Alex Simon, San Jose Mercury News. Don, just in a big picture sense, to have the top 2 teams going at it on national television, on a network, and to have the game go the way it goes into overtime, full players making big plays back and forth. Just how significant can this game be for the sport, I guess?
Great. I know Tara talked about the numbers. I'd like to see the numbers. Obviously it was 2 teams battling, top 2 teams by the polls, battling for a win, and just it was great coaching. It was great. The players did a great job. The crowd was electric. This is what women's basketball is about, has been about, and I think now is the time that the product that we're putting on the floor should be seen by as many eyes as possible.
All right, last question. We gotta let Coach go.
Quick 2-parter. One, you guys were, ahead for most of the game, but then in that last minute of the overtime, Stanford had that lapse with the technical timeouts. Did that kind of give you some sigh of relief that happened, kind of keep your momentum going? And 2, now you get to talk to the Stanford people after a win. This couple years ago with the blowout.
Oh, once they called the timeout, I knew we won the game. It was over at that point. So yes, I'm still coming down from the game and being in this atmosphere. And this game only helps both teams. I know we both wanted to win, and we tried our best to accomplish that. But I'm happy. And then to come back and talk to the fans here. These fans appreciate good basketball. Really, they want their team to win. They want Stanford to win every single game, but it was the first time that I probably was yelling some things that I probably shouldn't yell, that I didn't hear anybody say, "Shut up, Dawn," or anything like that. So it's cool being in this environment where they know that it's heated. It's heated. It's tough. It's tough, coming here and getting a win. And it's why we play the home and homes. They're going to come back next year. We're going to come back in 2 years, and hopefully we're still at the top of the game.
All right, thank you, everyone.